Good morning, everyone. I'm Nikki Stanzione.
And I'm Kristen Van Dyke.
And this is New Mexico Style on Thursday. Welcome to Thursday. So I did go to Chippendales last night.
You did? How was it?
Well, you'll see. You guys will get a chance to see. You'll definitely want to stay tuned, I think, during next week.
Let me ask you this, okay?
Yeah.
All right. You know, I think the guys always have it better in this category when it comes to, like, the strippers, you know. It always seems like the girls are always, well, for the most part, really pretty. But the guys, cheesy. It always seems like they're cheesy.
The thing is,
honest opinion, what was it like?
Honest opinion, they were good looking. They're in amazing shape. Like, clearly they spend a lot of time at the gym. And, you know, they take good care of themselves. You can tell they're very good at taking care of themselves. They probably go to Mark Pardo every week for waxing and such. But but the thing is, yeah, you know, watching them dance, to me, I giggle. Like, I don't get, like, excited. I'm like, oh, my gosh. And then the girls, women are crazy.
They are?
They are worse than men. I was like this. I mean, I was literally doing this the whole time watching the women. I started to laugh because I couldn't get over how women act.
That's strange. Okay, I can understand being starstruck.
No, it wasn't starstruck,
I've been starstruck, but I'm just saying, like,
oh no.
I just always feel like it's kind of, even though they're good looking, there's just something, it's just cheesy. Like, to me, I want to see, like, a good looking man, like, working in the yard or something.
Right,
like the
doing
hot
landscaper.
You know, the pool guy.
Oh, they did the construction
you know what
act.
I mean? Okay, they did?
Oh, yes, they did. It was pretty hot in there, but I'll tell you, like I said, I mean, it's the women that I was more amused watching. Their reaction was hilarious, but yeah, it was hot inside of the arena.
All right.
How about outside?
Outside? It's cold.
Yeah.
It's cold. You're going to want to bundle up. 33 degrees right now. Winds are out of the north, 5 miles per hour. Light wind down in the valley, still in the 20s. And even up in the heights, 29 right now. 30 in Placitas and Red River. They're making some snow up that way. You know, ski season just around the corner. Gorgeous shot up in that direction. So, yeah, just a few more weeks, I believe, and those ski slopes will be open. And they've been doing pretty good so far with the winter storm systems. Temps around the state, 30s, just about everywhere across the south even. And skies are mainly clear. We'll see a lot of sunshine today. Highs today, 52 in Albuquerque, low 60s in the southeast, and a fall warm-up on the way. We'll continue to warm things up even going into the weekend. Highs in the 50s to nearly 60 here, and then we're talking highs in the 70s and 80s in the southeast. So for the metro, sunny skies, mild, another cold one tonight, down into the middle 20s to low 30s. And your 7-day forecast here is showing more mild weather. Saturday, the winds will start to pick up a little bit. Warmer weather moves in. Next storm system moves in Sunday, Monday, bringing us a slight chance for a few showers.
Yeah, at least that sunshine will make it feel a little warmer than it actually is.
True.
That's the good thing. I like your idea about layering. I like all your layer tips this morning. Now let's check in with KRQE News 13 anchor Elizabeth Alvarez for today's headlines. Good morning, Elizabeth.
Good morning, ladies. Good morning to you at home. We begin this morning with police now looking at 2 people who may have written a letter threatening mass casualties this Friday in Socorro. A source close to the investigation tells us one is from Socorro, the other is not. Sources say one may be a former student of New Mexico Tech who had been in trouble with the law before.
We've been getting a lot of local citizens who have come up with people they might think might be involved in this. That's pretty much what we're doing. Is we have our full staff out trying to follow up on any leads that we can.
We're learning a little bit more on what was in this letter. The writer refers to law enforcement as pigs and say they also plan to target pig pens. Other potential targets included government buildings. The Socorro School District says if parents want to keep their kids home from school tomorrow, it's going to be okay. It's going to be considered an excused absence. A court decision could come at any time for a high school football team in Albuquerque that claims they were robbed of their chance to make it to the playoffs. A judge right now is deciding their fate. Players on the Atrisco Heritage Academy football team say this is all the refs' fault. Atrisco needed a field goal to win a spot in the playoffs. The referees apparently made a mistake and let the clock run out after an incomplete pass just as the Jags were about to line up a field goal. Now, yesterday, the Jags took their fight to court. The team's attorney wants the New Mexico Activities Association to make things right. But the association says, listen, mistakes by the refs are just part of high school football. The playoffs for the team start tomorrow, so a judge actually needs to make a decision quickly because courts are closed tomorrow for Veterans Day. Secretary of State Diana Duran expects to find out this morning why over 600 dead people are still registered to vote. This is part of a recent widespread voting problem. Some foreign nationals are also apparently being allowed to vote. Duran's office says one of them had been voting for over a decade. She also wants to get some voters to fill out new registration forms. We will have more on the results of this investigation later today. All troops are expected to return home from Iraq by the end of the year, and with Veterans Day being tomorrow, News 13's David Romero went to find out what's in store for our heroes when they come home.
Making the transition from military service to the working world may become a little bit easier. Just this week, President Obama set forth new efforts for Congress to consider that would help vets get back to work.
The unemployment rate among veterans is simply unacceptable. Veterans who are 20 to 24 years old face an unemployment rate of nearly 25%.
New Mexico Senator Tom Udall was a co-sponsor on the bill, which will go up for final vote in the Senate sometime tomorrow. The Hiring Heroes Act would give tax credits to employers who would provide jobs to veterans who've been out of work for at least 6 months.
Especially important for those veterans who are coming home, wanting to apply their GI Bill benefits, but still need an additional job to help get them through the gap.
To help them get started, the U.S. Department of Veterans Affairs is hosting a virtual online job fair.
There will be companies online that are ready to look at resumes, to talk to veterans, to interface with them, to try and immediately get them into the job market.
The VA's office says more than 60 employers from both the private and federal sector will participate in the fair. Lawmakers say the timing of this effort is critical.
As our conflicts overseas come to a close and more of our soldiers return home, we need to do everything we can to ensure a smooth transition back to civilian life.
For You Ask, We Answer, David Romero, KRQE News 13.
The VA's website says it has a job board with more than 8 million job openings across the country, as well as tools for veterans to build or upload resumes, and a section for employers to look for veterans who have the skills they need. Several veteran centers, by the way, will have computer access for vets to log on to the job fair, and we too have links to the job fair through our website at krqe.com. Well, that does it for your news headlines. Don't forget to start your day every morning with Matt Morrow, Kristen, and myself on KRQE's News 13 from 5 to 7 a.m. Ladies, turn it over to you.
Thanks, Elizabeth. You guys must be getting a workout in the morning on that show. You're all over. You're all over the studio. I love it. I'm like, gosh, they don't even need to go to the gym in the morning.
They don't need to. Yeah, Elizabeth and Matt are always all over the newsroom.
I know, it's true. Now, here's a big news story. A lot of people have been talking about, of course. Students at Penn State are up in arms, literally, and thousands of them took to the street last night after hearing the news that beloved football coach Joe Paterno was fired by the university's Board of Trustees. I lived down the street from Beaver Stadium for almost 3 years when I was doing AccuWeather, so I know what that town is like when it comes to Joe Pa. I mean, there are statues of him. I mean, he is worshipped there. Well, it's crazy to see what's going on.
Well, there was a mob, and you can see that there. They actually toppled a television news van at one point, and then, of course, chanting, "We want Joe, we want Joe," while others kicked the windows out of the van. Police in riot gear eventually had to use pepper spray to get the crowd under control.
Yeah, I mean, trustees were announcing earlier in the evening both Paterno and school president Graham Spanier were ousted effective immediately. I mean, this was like an immediate situation. The firings are a result, of course, of the growing anger over the school's handling of an alleged child sex abuse scandal that centered on former defensive coordinator Jerry Sandusky. And, you know, this has really stirred up a lot of controversy among newscasters. I've been watching it on all the talk shows in the last 24 hours, and everyone has such a difference of opinion. You know, some people are saying it's not his fault. Some people are saying, you know, this is a horrible way to, you know, to end his tenure. I mean, for everything he's done.
It is an awful way.
It's a shameful situation. But you know what? At the end of the day, my personal opinion is children. You know, somebody has to protect children. Somebody has to be there for them and stand by them and make sure that somebody's doing right by them. And if they don't, they have to face those consequences.
Yeah, you know, I think being a woman, I mean anybody, you kind of lean toward the morality. I mean, legally he's fine.
Right.
Morally, I don't know, but it's still really tough to see him go out on that note.
I know.
You know.
I mean, and he was obviously going to retire any day now, and it's a really sad way to end it. And it's sad to see people getting so violent while handling their feelings about it. So we hope everything works out for the best out in Pennsylvania. Like I said, I lived in that neighborhood for years, and I can't even imagine what's going on there. So best of luck to everybody, and hopefully people learn a lesson from this. That's really the thing to get out of it at the end of the day.
Yeah.
So now let's get to a little entertainment news. It looks like Eddie Murphy will not be hosting the upcoming Oscars after all.
Yeah, bummer. The comedian and film star bowing out of the prestigious award show yesterday. This one day after producer Brett Ratner, who had convinced him to do it, resigned from the show as well, following an uproar over his use of a gay slur.
Right, and you know, Murphy was releasing a statement. He said he understands and supports each party's decision with regard to change of producers for this year's show, and that he was looking forward to being a part of it. The Oscars will still take place, of course, in Los Angeles on February 26th. That's the big day. And you know, it's a shame because from what I understand, a lot of people were saying that Brett Ratner is a really good guy, lots of gay friends, lots of support of the gay community, but just said something without thinking and, you know, made a very rash decision as a result of it.
And that was something that we're talking about. He said the F word when it comes to homosexuality. It was the word that he used.
Which was unnecessary, obviously.
You know, it was unnecessary. If he could have used even a lesser word, I don't know, maybe things would be a different story, but it's right. I mean, but that's what you got to do.
And he felt guilty about it. He felt bad, and he felt he owed it to the public and to the people that he works with to just say, maybe I just don't even belong doing this. And so, of course, now Eddie Murphy feeling like he doesn't need it. I know. I was looking forward to that. I wonder who it's going to be now.
I don't know.
We'll have to keep you posted on that for sure. In the meantime, another award show, the annual Academy of Country Music Awards, that was last night. Now that brought music's best and brightest to Nashville. Of course, we love country music, Kristen and I. And it looks like, again, Taylor Swift won the jackpot. This one, I mean, this girl.
She wins everything.
Everything. Title of Entertainer of the Year for the second time in a row. Brad Paisley and Carrie Underwood played host for the show, and I love them together. I love that song, You Remind Me, that they sing together as a duet. It's so good. And Blake Shelton opened the show. He did his rendition of Footloose, as he does for the new movie Footloose, but he even admitted it wasn't that good. I love Blake, but he didn't do a great job.
You know, they know how to do it. You know, we've been watching these award shows. Some of them get kind of stuffy. Sometimes they're boring. Some of the jokes that got taken too far, too serious. But you know, they did it right. I love the Barbie doll, the thing with Faith Hill and Tim McGraw. How good was that? I
love these country couples. You know, they seem to do better. I don't know what it is. You know, you're from the South. For some reason, when you look at Hollywood, all the breakups, all the problems, these country couples seem to do very well together. Blake and Miranda, and you know, and Brad and Kimberly. You know, she's an actress, of course, and then of course Faith and Tim. I love to see that.
It's the slow life.
Yeah,
it's the slow life.
And the band Perry did well too, and we saw them live in concert here in Albuquerque. Right. So that was pretty cool.
Yeah, and there are other famous people were in Albuquerque too. The Weems International Art Fest this past weekend had one of them. What began as a local small arts and crafts fair for 29 years has blossomed into New Mexico's most prestigious and exciting star-studded international event. And I got to meet with one of Weems' biggest fans, John Corbett.
Yes.
And it's safe to say I got a little starstruck. So, what do you think of Albuquerque, first of all?
I've been to Albuquerque many times. I've made a couple of movies here in the last few years. Had a great time. I know the city pretty well. And I have a band, and we've played out here, I think, 3 times. A couple years ago, we played your big 4th of July fireworks party with cross-Canadian ragweed.
Nice.
And yeah, it was great. A lot of people turned out.
Okay, now what about your art? How long have you been into art? Not a lot of people know this about you.
Well, I've been drawing and doing watercolors since I was about 7 or 8 years old, like we all do. And I usually make paintings and give them to friends for birthdays or silly little things. And I've never shown art before, and so I put this sort of Elvis and Evel Knievel display in. Here's one of my.
Oh, okay.
This is Abe Lincoln and Bruce Lee in a furious battle.
That is awesome.
Yeah, and you can see who's winning the battle right here. Yeah. So, you know, it's all sort of
Abe Lincoln.
Yeah. It's all kind of whimsical and just sort of fun. There's Evel Knievel and Elvis jumping off the Grand Canyon in one of those people movers for people who don't like to walk.
Uh-huh.
And there they are, kind of teenage babies.
So is this your first time displaying art?
First time.
How do you feel about that?
Oh, it's fun. It's fun. I said earlier that I'm at that place. Did you see that movie Yes Man with Jim Carrey?
I love that movie.
Well, I took a lot from that movie because he said yes to all opportunities because life isn't really that long. And my initial reaction was, oh, I don't want to put myself out there and show people my paintings. And it's so far away. It's 4 months away. I don't want to commit. And I had every reason why I didn't want to. And so I just thought about it for a day and committed to it, and I'm so happy I did.
That's awesome. Well, we're really glad that you did too. And of course, it's all going to a really good cause as well. So
yeah, it's great.
Well, thank you so much for coming to Albuquerque. We hope to see more of you. Are we going to see you back here anytime soon?
I think we're going to come after the new year and play a couple shows.
Awesome.
Yeah.
You'll have to let us know when. Maybe we can get you on our show, the New Mexico style. We'd love to have you on there.
That'd be very cool.
Okay, cool. Well, thank you so much.
Oh, thanks.
Nice to meet you.
Nice
and
to
love
see
your
you.
work.
Hey.
I have not washed my hands since.
You're so cute. You are so cute. I love that. First of all, what a generous interview he gave. He is so kind and
very
forthcoming
nice.
and really
Very laid
down
back.
to earth. Is he like Aiden?
He's kind of like Aiden. He was kind of like Aiden. He was really laid back. I thought it was neat. He didn't he wasn't all into the gadget. He was really into his art.
Yeah, I love
and
that.
kind of like Aiden was
That's
in the
right.
show. And and I did ask him about Sex and the City, and he said that it was neat. He said he's done those movies, he did Northern Exposure. And he said, but what was unique about that is they all have stayed really close friends, and he still talks to Chris Noth and he called her Carrie. I thought that was cool.
He called her
He called her Carrie. He goes, and Carrie.
He didn't call her Sarah Jessica?
He said Carrie.
I love that.
So yeah, it was cool. He was super nice. He loved Albuquerque. I think his band plays here every now and again.
Yeah,
and
he said he'll
gonna
be back.
And
Okay,
he said
so we're on a
he would
mission to get him
probably come back and do our show too. But he said it's hard for him to get up really early, but that he would try. I was like, well, maybe we can come. You can come to our set afterwards.
Exactly, and hang out with us.
Yeah,
we don't mind. That's awesome. Well, if he comes in January, it'll be cold, but it's already starting to feel a little winter-like here right now.
It is. It's pretty chilly out there.
Yeah.
It'll be a little warmer though this afternoon.